Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So this is the interior first floor of Ophelia Villa, which I am remodeling from, I guess, the original version of Willow Creek. So I mentioned in my previous video that I have been playing Sims since the original, which might date me a little bit. And I have always played a little bit with any of the Goth family, but I did play the Goth family home quite a bit in the first one. So, with this home, Ophelia Villa is a residential lot in The Sims 4. It is an antiquated Gothic manor with 3 bedrooms in the Pendula View neighborhood of Willow Creek and serves as the residence for the Goth family. It features a somewhat similar design to 13 Skyborough Boulevard from The Sims 3, though it is considerably smaller and only has 3 stories instead of 4. The first floor, obviously I have changed all of this, but this is the original home, opens into a grand foyer that is open to the dining room at the back of the house, as well as a large drawing room, a bathroom, and a large kitchen with a breakfast nook. The house's second floor features a large landing with a grand piano, a master bedroom, and a red upholstered furniture for Mortimer and Bella, a large bathroom, Cassandra's bedroom, and a balcony. The third floor appears to be a tower with windows on each side that serves as a bedroom for Alexander. Unlike every iteration of the Goth family home from previous games, Ophelia Villa notably lacks a family graveyard. This is most likely due to the fact ghosts were not featured in the game until, the Sims 4, until upon its initial release. Players who wish to make Ophelia Villa haunted, like other iterations of the Goth home, can either kill a sim and add their grave to the lot, add the spooky lot, challenge with the city living expansion pack, which I don't have, and or change the lot type to haunted house residential with the paranormal stuff pack, which I do have and I have not done yet. It does lack a few things present in older Goth homes in the main franchise because the base games of Sims 4 was missing many things such as ghosts and family trees upon release. 2 windows in the dining room have duplicate curtains by default, which can be removed to reduce the lot value. And then this is just a little bit of trivia. The main Goth family, consisting of Mortimer, Bella, Cassandra, and Alexander, may have been inspired by the Addams family. This is evidenced by the fact that both families possess many features that are in common. For example, both families are aristocratic and old money with European lineage and an extended family clan. They associate with macabre and Gothic themes reflected in their dwellings, which are Victorian mansions surrounded by a family graveyard filled with ancestral tombstones. The architectural design of the Goth family home in The Sims 3 is identical to the Addams family home in the Addams Family Values, whilst the house in The Sims is identical to the 1964 TV series version of the Addams Family house. The basic family nucleus consisting of a husband, wife, daughter, and son is the same. Morticia Addams and Mortimer's names share the Latin root word mort, which means death. Both Mortimer and Gomez Addams have a habit of kissing up their wives' arms. Cassandra and Wednesday Addams play the part of a shy, quiet, and mysterious daughter who wears pigtails. Additionally, in The Sims 3, the version of Mortimer as a child is dressed in similar clothing to Pugsley Addams. Mortimer's maternal aunt, Agnes Crumplebottom, is renowned as the old prude in The Sims Hot Date. Coincidentally, Frump, Morticia Addams' maiden name, has a similar connotation, referring to a dull and old-fashioned person. So interestingly, before I read that trivia bit, I had kind of always thought of Cassandra as like a Wednesday Addams type character, and so I don't get to that in this video, but I will in the next, the second floor, or maybe the next or the following video. When I do Cassandra's room, I kind of did like a Wednesday Addams-ish feel of a room, I guess. But we'll get to that later. So some of the colors that I picked were like deep greens, purple, gold, obviously, and then like darker wood tones. As you can see in the kitchen, I definitely went with the, I can't think of the name, but like the magic, or the spell casting pack or add-on. I can't remember which it is. But so I did that with I used the fridge and the stove/oven, and then kind of picked colors and tones to go with that. Recently I've been kind of liking to do like a backsplash with the stone, and that's kind of what I did here. I also was at the main floor level kind of incorporating like a magical quality with maybe some hanging herbs, plants, and I just didn't have really space to do like a garden thing, but I had some like beginnings of an idea. The wallpaper, I end up changing this, but the wallpaper that I was using for like the main hallway and the entry, there was this like purple wallpaper in the original game that kind of reminds me of that green, I think it's called Beehive. I can't remember actually, of what that, and I think it's paint. It's not actually wallpaper, that I'm using. But anyway, and then this was kind of like I made some changes to the kitchen entrance, more of like a just little area to kind of sit and hang out. And then we have the grand dining room. With the entry, I definitely wanted there to be that piano. I don't know why I did like a quick little switch back and forth, but I think I was like, oh, I need to add that piano in. Anyway, so this house was definitely supposed to be kind of like an American Gothic Victorian house. And so I did some research on that. So the Victorian homes, which are kind of gaining increasing popularity today because so much of today's modern design is minimalist and understated, whereas Victorians embrace the more ornate and elaborate side of home design. So this neighborhood, the Pendula View neighborhood, is kind of, I think, more of a Victorian, and I think I talked about it in the last video, if I did talk in the last video, about how the houses kind of remind me of the Garden District of New Orleans. And again, Willow Creek, I think, is based, or I've read was based on New Orleans. So that's just kind of where I'm drawing my opinion, whether it's based in fact or not. So when someone is referring to a Victorian home, it generally means homes built during the time and rule of Queen Victoria. Her reign was from 1837 to 1901, a great bulk of the Industrial Revolution. So a true Gothic revival Victorian will be more traditional and embrace the colors that gave it such a distinctive look in the first place. For a distinctive and traditional color palette, a Gothic revival Victorian should embrace multiple dark shades, often in the same color family. For example, the wooden siding could be an olive light gray, while the trim shutters and ornamentations are rich colors in the same olive green family. Some of the most popular colors used during this period were maroon reds, cordovan browns, a bolder burgundy, or rich shades of browns and greens. The tactic of using gradations of the same color is one approach, but feel free to accentuate the architectural designs with other deep colors as accents in plum, blue, or even dark red family. Most often, you will see naturally occurring colors like organic greens or rich chocolate browns and deep reds, which were consistently popular for this style of home. Most of the goth, and like especially the Ophelia villa that I tore down, were like deep reds and black. And those are not my colors. I totally get, like, that is what I think of with the Goth family. And here you can actually see, this was something that I used to do in the original Sims was, I don't even know if we had carpets, or if we did, they were ugly, but you would take like carpet and you would line the room with wood flooring, and then you would put carpet in the middle to like have a rug. So I kind of tried that out, and I kind of liked the way it looked with the wall color, but then when I changed the wall color, I ended up doing something different at the end. But I think here, and maybe in some of the final photos, you can see that. Obviously, there needed to be a laundry room. I think I'm going to hire a butler for the Goth family and try to make him look like Lurch if it's a he, or I may have to like fire some people. Also, I really wanted there to be a greenhouse because I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but I just love in Adam's Family when Morticia is, and I'm sure she did this in the TV show. I was not old enough to watch the TV show when it first aired, but Morticia like cutting the heads off of the roses, and whether or not this actually happens. I believe it took place in a greenhouse. And so I just was like, there absolutely has to be a greenhouse in the Goth family home, which was how I ended up sacrificing any form of yard. But you can kind of see off to the side here, I did have some space for a small graveyard. It was definitely shown in the previous video because just from having played previous versions of The Sims, the home has to have a graveyard. It just has to. So this is, everything in this room is from Blooming, the free kit that we got recently. And then also I think it's like Greenhouse Haven, or maybe something about greenhouse. And I've done like little tiny greenhouses before. I haven't done like a full-on greenhouse, I don't think, yet. But this was just kind of fun using like all the little bits and pieces from the greenhouse and the pack. Which it's like one of those packs where I was like, oh my gosh, I use all the things. I use like 2 or 3 things in every house, and once in a while I put in a greenhouse. And when I do put in the greenhouse, I'm like, yes. But yeah. But it was kind of fun just to have this. I have not watched videos of people doing like real greenhouses. I think I would probably do a better job if I like knew what a like fancy Victorian style greenhouse is really supposed to look like. But honestly, this is my idea of what one would look like based off of like Charlotte's mother-in-law in Sex and the City, and in her like Connecticut greenhouse when she's growing the orchids, and really just what was available in the pack. And I think actually I did watch a video a while ago, and I cannot remember who it was. I will try to put it in the comments if I find it or remember who it was. But someone was like building a home, and I just saw the exterior part of the greenhouse, and then I don't know if I like fell asleep watching it or like just forgot to keep watching it. But I was like, oh, like a greenhouse attached to a house. That's a really neat idea. So this was kind of like it was going to be a porch, and then it became a greenhouse. And I feel like I contributed to a few ideas there. And then the back entry or back exit, whatever, is really just to go to the greenhouse, or to the graveyard. And then I put in and took out so many different pieces of furniture. I really wanted to put in like a lot of the stuff from the spell or magic or whatever pack. But when I took the original Ophelia Villa house apart, I kept some of the things like this knight armor thing. And so then I was like, oh, well, there's going to have to be a hallway with the armor. And so I finally found a little place to do that. And this is just, putting some art on the walls, because obviously this is an old home. Here it is from the above. But yeah, they would have lots of like inherited artwork. I took a lot of effort to put in like the ceiling tiles, because whenever I'm in old like Victorian homes, I notice that there's always like some interesting ceiling structure. So anyway, that's what that's about. But this was a lot of fun doing the main floor, and it was going to take way too long to do a video of the entire interior of the house. So there will be a part 2 and probably a part 3. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.